To all my gamers and NFT players, Viral Hip Hop News and the Lightest Fair Network have teamed up to bring you something revolutionary in the gaming and NFT space. Go to play.finesse.fun right now to play the season preview of the game Finesse Shadow Warriors exclusively on play.finesse.fun. Don't be the last to be a part of this new technological advancement in gaming and NFT. Play.finesse.fun to play the season preview of the game Finesse Shadow Warriors. Link is in the description box. Let them know Viral Hip Hop News sent you.
Welcome to another episode of the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. I'm your brother, old guy from Hip Hop News Uncensored, and sitting across from me is my co-host.
What up, y'all? It's your man, Sam, and Viral Hip Hop News. You're in the building for another edition of the Hip Hop Uncensored Podcast. We got special guests in the building. Jersey's in the building. We are happy to have the legendary DJ DoItAll Dupre from the legendary group, the trio, Lords of the Underground. How you doing today, family?
Well, I love y'all show first of all. You know, I think y'all doing an amazing job. It's not DJ DoItAll, and it's Dupre.
My fault, family. My fault. I apologize for that.
Appreciate
the kind
I
words.
know DJ DoItAll. Look, he got the name from me. That's my guy.
You talking about the South Jersey one?
Yeah.
Word. So let's get into it, man. You're from Jersey. Obviously, we're from South Jersey, if you didn't know. So we always love to pay homage to our Jersey artists and those who paved the way for anything that we're doing out there. Yes, sir. So how was it in Newark, growing up in Newark in the early 70s and 80s?
Well, 70s, you know, I was like real young, man. I really say that I grew up in the late 80s, you know, early 90s. You know, it was amazing, man. Newark is a great place. Newark is a place of prestige. You know, it's very honorable. You know, they're finicky guys. You know, North Jersey it kind of takes off of the New York umbrella, and South Jersey takes off. You know, after that Philly umbrella.
Yeah.
You know, so I feel like if we had something that really connected both of those sides, because the South is ill in its own sense, the North is ill in its own sense. But if we had something that united us together in that middle, in that central Jersey, or something that pulled us together, maybe like a television station or a radio station, I think that we'll be a different type of state instead of seeming like a state divided.
Yeah, because we always say, like, when we say South Jersey, they say they're from North Jersey and Newark. I always thought that was weird. Instead of just saying you from Jersey, people always flip that up. You know what I mean? But let's go back a little bit, man, and talk about how you got involved in hip hop. At what point in your life, you know, you start falling in love with hip hop?
Man, you know, I fell in love with hip hop in 1979. My mother's brother, my uncle Darryl, came home he came home from the army, and he didn't have a place to stay. And his sister, my mom's, let him stay in a spare room, and he would come into that room, man, and he would have, you know, a funny smelling aroma, which I later found out was marijuana.
Yes, sir.
You know, he would, now this is old school, but he would fight praying mantis in a shoebox, you know. And he would play this one record over and over and over again with his door locked. And that record was Rapper's Delight, you know, by the Sugar Hill Gang. So I had my mother in one room playing Shaka Khan and James Brown and Sam and Dave and the Temptations and Diana Ross and things like that. And in the next room, I hear this new music, you know, a hip hop to the hippie to the, you know, and that I gravitated toward that room more so than I was gravitating to what my mom was playing in the living room. And that's probably when I fell in love with hip hop, because I wanted to know, what is that record? What is that music? You know, and then once I found out what that music was, finding out from researching and studying the culture that some of those rhymes on there wasn't even written by those guys. I wanted to find out, where did this come from? And I started to find out about its elements, you know, breakdancing and graffiti and DJing and MCing. And, you know, I just started finding out all of this stuff. and it made me want to get involved more and more. So 79 is when I fell in love with hip hop.
So you became a student of hip hop. When did you eventually become an MC?
I became a student in 79. I thought I was going to be the best breakdancer in the world, you know, take it to the Olympics. Now it's in the Olympics. But my backspins wasn't that great. So I had to, you know, I reverted to popping. And, you know, I was kind of nice with the popping, but that wasn't really taking me too far, even though it allowed me to meet other great poppers from the New York City Breakers and the Rocksteady crew, you know. But I was still too young to get into any of those parties. So I would find myself standing outside of those jams late at night and shouldn't be there as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old. I shouldn't be there, you know. And I started to do graffiti, but my penmanship was horrible, you know.
Yeah.
You know, and the fashion was always there because if you was a B-boy or B-girl, you most likely was a dancer. And the dancers always had the fly stuff on anyway because they wanted to look fly while they was spinning on their backs, while they was popping, you know. And all the girls was attracted to the fly boys and the dancers. They got all the attention. So I wanted to be that. But when none of that really panned out, I did notice that I could galvanize a crowd, that I can hold their attention by putting my words together, by emceeing. And that's where I found my niche, man, just being an MC.
So we walk up, you know, come a little bit more current though, but I'm gonna go back a little bit before we come current. At what point did you know it was like, you know what? We on to something. I got something here. I want to like really take this thing, you know, and go all the way with it. At what point in your life did you realize that?
It was gradual, bro. It was gradual. I got with a crew called the True MCs. Man, you just realized one of my old MC partners just hit me yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to my man Ethan, Suicide Sal. Rest in peace to Suicide Sal.
Rest in peace, yes, sir.
But you know, he just hit me yesterday. Our crew was called the True MCs. Then I got into the Underground Rockers, UCR. So it was gradual, building up my confidence with groups. I didn't realize I was going to be in a group, though. I started building my confidence up with groups, and then I went solo when I had my confidence.
Yeah.
And then through that process, probably around the time when Redman became my DJ as a solo artist, I felt like that we have something, you know, that we possibly can be the next Big Daddy Kane, School Scrap Lover, and DJ Mr. C out this mud, you know. And that's when I thought that I had something special when I was started. We used to do these talent shows at Club 88 in Newark, New Jersey, where Naughty by Nature and KG, they was called New Style at the time, would get on the stage against myself and Redman, and even Mr. Funky used to come up with his crew. And we were all in different crews. And Tame One and MC and Ella Sensei would come up from the Artifacts. And myself and Redman, DoItAll doing the Wonder Twins with DJ Cut Killer, we would win all of the shows all the time. So when we started just beating everybody who was hot in the neighborhood in those contests, I felt like we had something.
Did you at the time know that you had a legend under you in Redman? He's one of our favorite artists of all time. Can't wait to have him on the platform as well. So
Yeah,
I love
shout
it.
out to
You
Doc,
got
man.
it. Absolutely. Word. How y'all get up and how did that go?
Yeah, he lives right around the corner from me. He's from 19th. He's from 20th Street. I'm from 19th Street, and ironically, Tretch is from 18th Street.
Damn.
Just on the East Orange side. But I didn't even realize that Tretch was gonna be a legend. I didn't realize that any of us, you know, and at that time we had Jermaine Hopkins, who's an actor. He was always with us.
Yep, we had him on.
From Lean on Me and Juice and all of that. Savion Glover used to be around sometimes. So these were just childhood friends. Like, look at those names, you know, Jermaine Huggy Hopkins, Savion Glover, Redman, Naughty by Nature, DoItAll, and many other people who went on to be great as well that we didn't know. We were just from the neighborhood. Rod Digger, you know, the Artifacts with Aim and Tame and L. Like, we were just from the neighborhood. So we didn't know.
Now, when the New Jersey Drive movie came out, did you guys receive some type of criticism for that movie? Or something.
We didn't see any criticism. We criticized.
You criticized? Okay.
You know what I mean? Excuse me. We criticized because, what part of South Jersey you guys from?
Atlantic County, like the AC area, my father.
Okay, AC. So I'm sure you probably know everything about AC. The ins and outs, little cuts that the AC people know. Now, give me one thing that an AC person would know. Just something real quick, like an AC person would know.
What Back Maryland is?
What is it?
Mac Maryland,
right?
Yeah.
So now, if I come on TV and I'm doing a movie and I do a scene about AC and I say Mac Drellin, y'all, it's Mac T Drellin. You'd be like, what is he talking about? It's not Mac T Drellin. What is he talking about?
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how we looked at New Jersey Drive. It wasn't official. It wasn't authentic. You're yelling blocks with the wrong blocks. You're yelling wrong avenues. So it just seemed like another point of people don't really care about New Jersey. They want to use New Jersey to as a backdrop to get props off of, but it's not authentic, and that's how we felt about it. I mean, the check cleared for the song for Burn Rubber on Me very nicely, but we still felt some type of way because we got to watch the movie early without any music to write the songs for it. So we were sitting in a little theater in Manhattan, watching the movie right before we had to get on the flight. Flew down to Miami, linked up with Luke, who put us in his studio, and that's where we recorded Burn Rubber. But watching the film at that time, we didn't really feel it that much because it didn't seem authentic. It wasn't us. It was a story that emulated us, but it wasn't us.
How'd you brothers get together? You and Lord, you and your group members, Jazz and Funk. How'd you guys get together?
Shout out to DJ Lord Jazz and Mr. Funk.
Yes, sir.
We all met in college, man. I kind of was around Funk a little bit. When you're a year and a half or 2 years older than someone, you at that when we're teenagers, it seemed like you're a few years older than them. When you're 2 grades ahead of them or something like that. But so when I performed, I was like guest entertainment for Funk's high school. I knew his brother because his brother really maneuvered around in the streets of Newark real heavy. Lord Jazz, we met at Shaw University, and I got into some trouble. And Funk must have gotten into some trouble too because we met through a program in Newark that was sending us to college to get us out of the streets. So when we got down to Shaw, we was cool, but we didn't hang out a lot. We were still cool because we were from the same city.
That's out in Carolina.
North Carolina, Raleigh, North Carolina, Shaw University. Shout out to everybody down in Raleigh too.
Yes,
and Lord Jazz put the group together. One of his best friends who was graduating the school at the time told him that he was going to work for his cousin, who just happened to be Marley Marl, the great DJ Marley Marl, producer extraordinaire, the legend. And he told Lord Jazz to put together a group. And Lord Jazz, I was rhyming at all the parties. Lord Jazz would let me rip at all of the parties. And my man Denton Evans introduced me to Lord Jazz. And Funk got put on next, being both from Newark. And the rest is history, man. We met Derek L.A. Jackson, who introduced us to Marley Marl. And Derek L.A. Jackson he's the same person who found the Roots. He used to manage Coolio. He's the one who made Scott Storch kind of famous from how he did him with the management, collecting all the producer money early before he even did the beats and all that. All that was Derek,
Right. So was there any major rivalries that you guys had in the game back then? Anybody that you guys rivaled or had issues with?
Yeah, I mean, it was the 90's, man, with young testosterone, A-type wolves.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had rivalries, but nothing real big. I mean, the media kind of hyped up the rivalry against DOS Effects. Who are my guys? You know what I mean? Like, shout out to School, shout out to Dre's, shout out to Rendezvous, Rendezvous, who else? Rendezvous and DJ Dice, I'm sorry. You know, shout out to the whole DOS Effects clan and Shelly Patron too. But you know, they was cool. Like the media hyped that up. We had a music director, video director, who he did the Sewer video. Then after that, he did Psycho video.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the Sewer video and look at Psycho video, it's the same director. So he tried to emulate what he did with DOS Effects with this group, not realizing that the media would take that and say that we were copying off of DOS Effects. We didn't know. We was young boys to be happy being in the game. We didn't know that the edit and what he was going to do looked similar to DOS Effects.
Right.
So people would say that because we was underground and they was the Sewer, that we were biting off DOS Effects. That means they really wasn't listening though, because we never diggity nothing. Our flow didn't sound like them. Nothing. It was just an imagery that was kind of, not even exact, kind of similar. And because of that, they said that we bit off of it.
You know, I'm curious to know, because we look at rap now and our generation kind of looks at this generation, most of us for the most part, we go, we don't like the style. It's mumble rap, or you got sound the same, yada, yada, yada. And I know a lot of the older rappers that began hip hop kind of looked at your generation like, okay, looked at them a certain way as well. How did you guys receive from your elders and things like that in hip hop? How were you guys received?
Man, we were received the same way that some of the elders received these young guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if you look at any of my past interviews, I don't really trip on the young guys, because you know that the young, when you youthful and you young, you always got to say something about the old head, even if you just out hanging with your dudes. It's like, look at old head, look at him, look at the shoes he got on, because it's not part of your culture anymore, even if it's just jokes, you know. So with our thing, you know, we had Melly Mel and them, who's my brother, my big brother now. Grandmaster Cass, who I'm working with hip hop and VR, virtual reality world. We're doing a lot of great things over there.
Dope.
But I had all of these elders look at me, and I'm just looking at them as a fan. It wasn't all of them. I have to say that it wasn't all of them. But some of them, they gave us, you know, especially when it seems like you're doing, I don't want to say better than them, but you have more opportunities than they had when they were coming down the lane. You know what I mean? So now that you have more opportunities, but they set it up for you to have those opportunities, but didn't get a chance to capitalize on those opportunities, they looked at the youngsters kind of funny, you know. Yeah. And I try never to do that with the youngsters, you know. A lot of the cats ask me, yo, how do I get on? How do I go platinum? How do I do what you've done? And I say, man, I can tell you that, but then I might just create a blueprint for you to get to the level that I got to. I might be creating a ceiling for you if I tell you my blueprint, because I might be stopping you from doing some things that I've never heard of before, that I've never seen before. So I'm not going to tell you that. I could just tell you the core of things. You know, be careful of this, be careful of that. But I'm never going to tell you how to do your creativity, because really nobody doesn't know what creativity even is. You know what I mean? So we can tell you what it's not, but you can't really tell me what it is, because it's so different with everybody. Right. You know, so I love when the young cats come. I might don't agree with everything. For instance, I'm not stanky legging. When Stanky Leg came out, you know, I was buying property. I wasn't stanky legging. But that doesn't mean that 1 million people, 2 million people, 3 million people still didn't buy Stanky Leg. You see what I'm saying? So just be you, be great, and if you believe in it, stick to it, man, and stick by your guns and be passionate about it. And if you really are authentic about it, you'll profit off of it later in some capacity.
Why do you think, or do you think Jersey is overlooked so much when it comes to hip hop?
I think because of the proximity, we're so close, but yet still divided. You know, New York City has boroughs. They have the 5 boroughs, so they feel like this is New York City, these 5 parts. And all of these 5 parts are massive with the culture of hip hop and its MCs and everybody who take up every capacity of hip hop. So why should I go over here and try these people who are just close to me? That's so far away. I have so many people tell me, "Oh, no, Jersey so far away, but so close." They used to think we were country. That's what they used to call us. "Oh, y'all country over there. Y'all different." Yeah, we different. But at the same sense, they would say that, but then they would go to Philly. Then they would go to, Cali. They would go to Chicago. They would go to Boston, but they would just pass over New Jersey. So we took the mentality that Atlanta took against the world. Like in the 2000s, Atlanta and down south took the same action against the world. And that action was F everybody else. We just gonna focus on us and the people that rock with us and make them come to us. And that's what we did, man. We just rocked with Jersey. That's why I don't understand why New Jersey gets left out of the hip hop conversation when you talk about the best in the 90s. And I'm not saying this to be cocky because we from New Jersey. I'm really asking, how can you leave New Jersey out of the hip hop 90s conversation when we ran everything in the 90s? And I'm not just talking about Laws of the Underground. Let me just name some groups. The Fugees, every member, from Lauren to Pride to Wyclef. Laws of the Underground, Redman, Rod Digger, Lakim Shabazz, Naughty by Nature, Apache, Channel Live, Outsiders, The Outlaws. I mean, when you talk about platinum selling groups and gold selling groups in the 90s, and then you only hear maybe one name mentioned when you talk about 90s, and they might say Redman because of his association with Wu-Tang and Meth. They don't even mention Naughty some of the time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? So I just don't understand that as a hip hop fan. Like, you talk about the best in the 90s. You call it the golden era of the 90s. Why and how can't you mention all of the groups that went platinum and gold during that time? And a lot of them was from New Jersey. Wise Intelligent. I mean, YZ. There's so many groups to name.
Queen Latifah was out in Jersey back then.
That's Queen Latifah, man. You can't forget her.
You know what the thing is? I feel like because growing up, we're from South Jersey. Obviously, we've said that you couldn't look at the internet. It wasn't no phone. We looked at it in a magazine and things like that, and they portrayed it like all of you guys are from New York and not from New Jersey, and didn't represent and promote Jersey like that. What is it going to take for us to really take over? Because we still deal with that. Like you said, South Jersey is associated with Philly. North Jersey is affiliated with New York. But we're not associated with each other. We're closer to Philly than we are to Newark. But how do we get that together and make that to where we can really put Jersey on the map and do what Atlanta's doing?
Start building with each other, and that's real talk. Like, do some research. I was taught, man, anytime you get involved in anything, you do research. You find out what's popping. If you want to open a plumbing company, you find out what's the best plumbing company in your area and who's number one and how are they doing it, what they're marketing. What I say the same thing about hip hop. If you're in Trenton or Camden or wherever it is, Willingboro or wherever you are in South Jersey, Atlantic City, wherever you are, find out who's the best in East Orange. Find out who's the best in Jersey City. Find out who's the best in Newark. Just Google them. It's easy nowadays. You don't even have to jump in the car. Find out. Start sending them emails. Start liking their posts. Start following them. Tell them, yo, we got it going on down here too. You should come down and spit one day. We got this, such and such. And when you have something, unite, build relationships. And then people are going to start having you in those same conversations as in North Jersey, whoever that person is or whoever she or he is, and vice versa. The people in the North should do the same thing with the South. Who's popping in AC? Who is that guy? I need to holler at him. And you can tell from now how the record label does it. Everybody is about numbers. Everybody is about followers. Everybody is about something that you can tell who has something going on or who doesn't just from their social media.
That's a fact.
Real talk. I want to talk about, some of the stuff you're doing. for the community. Can you get into some of the stuff you got going on and promoting good health and literacy?
Yeah, man. Shout out to my team, man. 211 Community Impact. They just do an amazing job, man. And I literally just got off the phone with them too, just talking about the things that they're doing. You know, you got to take care of your team, man. Sometimes I send them for massages. Sometimes, man, I just try to look out for them, man, because this is a nonprofit organization. So a lot of times we don't get paid for certain things. It's straight off the cuff. You know,
Right.
We do a lot of things in literacy components. Like right now we have a Devices for All Digital Divide campaign that we're partnered with the Loyalty Foundation out of New York City. And we are giving Chromebook computers, devices, as a fill in the gap for the city of Newark, because the city of Newark has over 9,000 Chromebook computers that needs to be repaired. So the price of repairing them, it's probably best just to kind of identify who needs a Chromebook and which Chromebook is not working for the student, and then replace those. So we've probably done over 60 something, probably almost 100 something Chromebooks to the schools districts here. So that's 100 something children that we just started to do maybe 3 months ago.
Okay.
So it's working real well, man. That's one of the programs, our Digital Divide program. And also we do Let's Eat programs, Look Good and Feel Good programs, where we teach young males how to tie ties and get them haircuts, and teach the women about grooming and stuff like that. You know?
That's what's up.
That's real dope. We had Faizon on. I don't know if it was this year or late last year, and he was talking about being from Newark and wanting to come back and be the mayor of Newark. And he was talking about it was a dream at the time, but he was very serious about it. And I know that you were running. Wait
a minute, say that again.
Oh, you didn't hear that? Faizon Love, you know Faizon, right?
Yeah, that's my guy too.
Yeah, shout out to Faizon, friend of the show, definitely a good brother. He was talking about how he wanted to come back to Newark and become mayor of Newark, and he was setting it up. He was about to move back to Newark, and he was about to get his T's crossed and his I's dotted. He was gonna make a serious run at it. We were like, dope. Anything you need, let us know. But what do you think about that? I know you ran for you were a councilman in Newark, right?
Yeah. Well, no, and I wasn't councilman yet. I ran for councilman, and I didn't win, but it wasn't a loss, man. It was a very great learning lesson. Built a lot of great rapport, and I will be back at it this time. I'm actually running for councilman of the West Ward. The West Ward is where myself, Redman, and Roddigger grew up at. So it'll be an honor to come fix that ward and be able to add to the whole and be able to rebuild and revitalize the ward, which I give a lot of credit on these records that were very popular. So when you hear about me jumping gates and TikTok and running from the police and 13th Ave, when I'm yelling 13th Ave and crossing all that's the ward that I will be councilman of in the next election. So I run it. I shout out to Faizon. You know, we had a conversation in VR. He's a VR head too, virtual reality head. And we had a conversation about what you just said, but he didn't tell me he was going to try to run for mayor. He said that I should try to run for mayor.
Oh, okay.
And then he joked about I should come back then. If you don't do it, I should come back and do it. You know what I mean? But he's a comedian, so you never know which angle he's going at. But Faizon is good, man. That's my guy. I was surprised to find out that he's originally from Newark, New Jersey. He was born in the same hospital that I was born in. Just moved out to the West Coast, and we would love to have him come back to Newark, New Jersey. But running for mayor is going to be very hard, especially when you got a brother like Raz J. Baraka in there right now. So, I wish him the best. I thought that my popularity could get me over the threshold, which is not true. There's a different type of society with that politics stuff, man. And it made me realize that being a popular artist or involved in arts and culture or entertainment, some capacity, that's not going to just get it.
Yeah, indeed.
Definitely. So what's next for you, man? What you got going on next? Any music? Anything else you want to share with the people?
Yeah, man, it's a bunch of things, man. Right now I'm tuning up to drop the project that I've been waiting to drop for the longest. It's called Brenda's Son. It's my most personal solo album yet. My most personal solo album yet. And it's called Brenda's Son, a reflection of who I was then to who I am now, being raised by a single black mother, female in a single household, a young black male being raised by a woman is always difficult, especially in cities like that look and feel like Newark, New Jersey. So that's what that album is about. But the pandemic has slowed us down. So, I have a video called The Life. I have a video with the mayor, probably the first artist to ever do a hip hop video in City Hall. So the mayor's on my album doing poetry, Rajay Baraka. You can check that out, man. It's called Keep the Faith. Check it out on YouTube. You can also check out The Life. All produced by Flipside Twins and my man Drew. But we also have an album. When I say we, I'm talking about my brothers, Lords to the Underground.
Right.
We have an album that we put on hold too, called So Legendary. And this album is the album that we did on tour right before the pandemic. It features Onyx. Shout out to my boys, Onyx. It's produced by the Snow Goons, the legendary Snow Goons out of Germany. They're incredible, man. They always keep hip hop alive. Shout out to my man Loso too, because he's one of the executive producers on it. And yeah, man. So Legendary for Lords of the Underground. Brenda's Son. For you want to know what happened to that baby Tupac was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I admit.
Brenda's you
Son. Had and also, man, we're gearing up for this campaign, man. Next year, May.
Okay.
I should be a councilman in Newark, New Jersey, man. I will be the councilman in Newark, New Jersey. I'm saying it right here on Uncensored.
Yes, sir.
I will be the first hip hop MC, platinum selling record artist to be an elected official. The first in the world.
Got to get you back down here, man. Even though you're in Newark, man, get you some love, man. And
yeah,
have you down here and
from
talk
America. Cause shout out to Sean. I know he's an ambassador for Belize.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Sean. But I will be the first from America.
Real quick, the new album that's coming out, or the album that got put on hold, is it Time Me Asking What's Up? That's the singles on that album? Is
it singles on it?
Yeah. Are those going to be on the album too? Because I know those were produced by Snow Goons too, aren't they?
Yeah, they on there. They're the What Up joint with Onyx is on
Onyx,
there.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Insomnia is on there. We got some, man, Lords, we had some fun on that album, man. We want to roll. We want to roll with Onyx, MOP at the time. It might be EPMD, I think, at the time. So, yeah, Snow Goons did their thing, man. It was grueling, though. And that's what a lot of the fans don't see sometimes. So, we're on tour every night. So, we would get to a venue. No, pardon me. We wouldn't even go to the hotel. We would go straight to the venue, sound check, have our roadies take the bags to the hotel. We would go to the studio, order food in the studio, record. Now, using our voices that we have to perform with tonight.
Okay.
Record, then go to the hotel for about 30 minutes to be back downstairs, to go to the hotel, perform for the night, get back on a tour bus to go to the next city and do it all over again. So, and then it's people for interviews, blogs, and television stations, radio stations, all at the show, either before or after the show. So you have no time to do anything, man. It's definitely a grueling work schedule.
We appreciate your growth, man, from listening to Here Comes the Lord 1993 to where we at right now in 2021, man. Appreciate you still in the game, and especially what you're doing for Jersey, man. Thank you. Definitely appreciate you.
I appreciate that. Y'all got to come up, man. I got to come down one day or something, man. We got to unite this South Jersey and this North Jersey thing, man.
Bro, let's do both. Man. Let's do both. Hit us up, man.
Word up, man. Shout out to AC. Shout out to Camden. Shout out to Trenton. Shout out to Willingboro. Shout out to everybody in our South Jersey area, man. Respects and love, man. Jersey all day.
All day, you already
Yes,
know,
sir.
Jersey, man. Do it all. Dupre in the building, man. The Hip Hop Essential Podcast. Appreciate you, brother. Salute.
Appreciate you, King.
You too, brother.
Salute, bro.
All right, bro.
No doubt. Peace.